Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to hold virtual bilateral summit today. Both leaders to comprehensively review broad framework of the bilateral relationship. Virtual summit is the first official interaction between the leaders after they met in New Delhi in February this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to address general debate in the 75th session of the General Assembly this evening. PM's address is expected to focus on India's priorities as a member of the Security Council during 2021-22 and the promotion of global action against terrorism. Indian mission to UN denounces Pakistan for state sponsorship of terrorism and genocide. Reiterates J&K is an integral and inalienable part of India. Calls on Pakistan to vacate all the illegal occupation as India exercises right of reply in UN. Election Commission announces dates for Bihar Assembly polls in 3 phases. First phase of Bihar elections on 28th October. Results to be announced on the 10th. Strict measures to be followed at polling booths, keeping in mind COVID-19. Political parties hail EC's announcement amid strict adherence to Covet protocols. India records more than 4 lakh Tele consultations on eSanjeevani platform that provides essential medical services during COVID-19 pandemic. Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh crossed 1 lakh Tele consultations each. More than 18 states have utilized this mobile app to provide medical care to people. Last rites of legendary playback singer SP Bala Subramanian to be held with state honours in Chennai today. Recipient of Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, the iconic singer won 6 national awards, many Filmfare awards among others. In international news, WHO warns 20 lakh COVID-19 deaths likely without collective action. Global deaths set to surpass 10 lakh mark with over 3 crore 27 lakh infections worldwide. Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukmaina. Top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Sri Lankan Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa will today hold a virtual bilateral summit. The summit will be Prime Minister Modi's first such virtual engagement with a neighbouring country and also the Sri Lankan PM's first diplomatic engagement with a leader of a foreign country after he was sworn in as Prime Minister in August. The virtual bilateral summit will provide an opportunity to the two leaders to comprehensively review the broad framework of the bilateral relationship soon after the parliamentary elections in Sri Lanka and in the context of the time-tested friendly ties between the two countries. A virtual bilateral summit under challenging circumstances posed by COVID-19 testifies to the deep-rooted civilizational ties and shared heritage between the two neighbouring countries. This is also a reflection of India's neighbourhood-first approach and Sagar doctrine. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address the general debate in the 75th session of the General Assembly this evening. The Prime Minister's address is expected to focus on India's priorities as a member of the Security Council during 2021-22 and the promotion of global action against terror. To promote strengthening of global action on counter-terrorism, India will push for more transparency in the process of listing and delisting of entities and individuals in sanction committees. Being one of the largest troop-contributing country, India will seek to engage intensively in finalizing of mandates for UN peacekeeping mission. The Prime Minister is also expected to focus on the issues India will focus on during its stint as a non-permanent member of the Security Council for 2 years beginning January 1st, 2021. This includes the 5S approach of Samman, respect, Samvad, dialogue, Sahyog, cooperation, Shanti, peace and Samriddhi, prosperity. India will also focus on inclusive and responsible solutions for global peace and security. an effective response to international terrorism, norms of the new orientation for a reformed multilateral system, technology for all and streamlining of UN peacekeeping operations. PM Modi's address will be in the form of a video statement broadcast at the General Assembly Hall in New York, since most events are being held virtually against the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. India has promptly responded to Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's statement on the Kashmir issue in the 75th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Exercising its right to reply in response to Pakistan, Indian delegate and First Secretary in the Indian mission in New York, Mijito Vinito, presented India's stand at the UN. In a strongly worded reply, India said that the Union Territory of J&K is an integral and inalienable part of India, while the rules and legislation brought in the Union Territory are strictly India's internal affairs. The First Secretary also said the only way for Pakistan to become a normal country is to abjure its moral, financial and material support to terrorism.
The words used today at this great assembly by the leader of Pakistan demean the very essence of the United Nations. Let me assert here loud and clear. The Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir is an integral and inalienable part of India. The rules and legislations brought in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir are strictly internal affairs of India. The only way for Pakistan to become a normal country is to abjure its moral, financial and material support to terrorism, turn its attention to the problems faced by its own population, including its minorities, and stop misusing UN platforms to further its nefarious agenda.
The Election Commission yesterday announced the dates for the Bihar polls. Elections for the eastern state will be held in 3 phases this time around. Chief Election Commissioner announced the poll dates, saying the first phase of voting will take place on the 28th of October, the second on the 3rd of November and the third phase on the 7th of November. Counting and declaration of results will be on the 10th of November.
First phase, issue of notification 1st October. Last date of notification 8th October. Scrutiny of nominations 9th October. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 12th October. Date of poll 28th October. Can I now go to second phase, please? Issue of notification 9th October. Last date of nomination 16th October. Scrutiny of nomination 17th October. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 19th October. Date of poll 3rd November. Shall I go to third phase? Issue of notification 13th October. Last date of nomination 20th October. 20 October. Scrutiny of nomination 21 October, 21st October. Last date of withdrawal of candidature 23rd October, 23 October. Date of poll 7th November, 7th November. Counting of votes 10th November.
The first phase of polling involves 16 districts with 71 seats, which will be up for grabs on the 28th of October. Notification will be issued on the 1st of October. The last date for filing nomination papers is on the 8th of October and the last date for withdrawal of nomination is on the 12th of October. The second phase of voting is being held in 17 districts on the 3rd of November for 94 seats. Notification will be issued on the 9th of October. The last date for nomination filing is on the 16th of October and the last date for withdrawal of nomination is the 19th of October. The third phase of voting will see 15 districts going to the hustings on the 7th of November involving 78 seats. Notification for this phase will be issued on the 13th of October. The last date for filing of nomination is the 20th of October, while the last date for withdrawal of nomination is the 23rd. India has recorded more than 4 lakh tele-consultations on this eSanjeevani platform. Taking to Twitter, the Health Ministry informed the record number of 4 lakh tele-consultations were provided across various OPDs and at Ayushman Bharat Health and Wellness Centers. While the states Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh have crossed 1 lakh teleconsultations each, it also said that the eSanjeevani app has provided various essential medical services during the COVID-19 pandemic to beneficiaries while ensuring social distancing. However, more than 18 states have utilized this mobile application so far to provide medical care to people. The last rites of renowned singer S.P. Bala Subramanian will take place in Chennai today with state honours. Earlier, celebrities and fans flocked to his residence for a last glimpse of the departed singer. The legendary playback singer S.P. Bala Subramanian had passed away on September 25th at the age of 74. The singer was under treatment at MGM Healthcare in Chennai since August 5th after he tested positive for coronavirus. A recipient of Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan, the iconic singer won 6 national awards and many Filmfare awards, among others. Nearly 98% of candidates appearing for JEE Advanced have been allocated examination centres from the top 3 choices of cities made by them during registration. A total of 1,60,000 candidates have registered for the Joint Entrance Examination Advanced after qualifying JEE Mains. The exam is scheduled for September 27th. The number of exam centres has been increased from 600 last year to 1,000. The Income Tax Department has launched faceless income tax appeals. Under this, all income tax appeals will be finalized in a faceless manner under the faceless ecosystem, with the exception of appeals relating to serious frauds, major tax evasion, sensitive and search matters, International Tax and Black Money Act. Necessary Gazette notification has also been issued. The 4th edition of the India-Japan Maritime Bilateral Exercise JIMEX, which is conducted biennially between the Indian Navy and Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force, will be held in the North Arabian Sea from the 26th to the 28th of September this year. JIMEX series of exercises commenced in January 2012 with a special focus on maritime security cooperation. The last edition was conducted in October 2018 of Visakhapatnam. Naval cooperation between India and Japan has increased in scope and complexity over the years. Advanced level of operations and exercises planned during this are indicative of the continued upswing in Indo-Japanese defense relations and continued efforts by both governments to work closely for a more secure, open and inclusive global commons in accordance with international regulations. JIMEX 20 will showcase high degree of interoperability and joint operational skills through conduct of a multitude of advanced exercises across the spectrum of maritime operations. In yet another incident of ceasefire violation, Pak army troops resorted to indiscriminate and unprovoked firing on Indian forward posts and civilian areas along the LOC in Degwar sector of Pooch district yesterday evening. Defense spokesperson told TT News that about 22:15 hours, that's about 10:15 p.m., Pak army troops started firing with small arms followed by heavy mortar shelling. However, the vigilant Indian army guarding the fence started giving befitting reply. The exchange of fire was on when reports last came in. No damage has been caused to the Indian side due to the firing. Further details are awaited. And now an update on COVID-19 from across the country, which is registering a continuous increase in number of patients who have recovered from the disease. Over 47 lakh 50,000 patients have recovered so far. The overall recovery rate has now reached 81.74%. Also, the gap between recovered cases and active cases is progressively growing wider. The actual caseload of the country currently comprises 16.67% of total positive cases in the world. The number of recovered patients has now overtaken active cases by nearly 5 times. And now for updates on COVID-19 from across the globe. Over 3 crore 27 lakh coronavirus cases have been reported worldwide, with more than 9 lakh 93,000 deaths. As many as 2 crore 41 lakh people have recovered from the virus so far. The United States continues to top the list, being the worst hit by the pandemic so far with the highest number of COVID cases. The US has crossed the 72 lakh mark with over 72.44 COVID-19 cases with deaths now crossing 2,08,000. In terms of the death toll, Brazil stands second on the tally with 1,40,000 deaths. There are more than 46,92,000 cases of COVID-19 in Brazil. The World Health Organization has expressed concern over the global death toll from COVID-19 that has doubled to 2 million before a successful vaccine could double to 2 million before a successful vaccine is widely available without concerted action to curb the pandemic. Emergencies Program Director Mike Ryan said if we look at losing 1 million people in 9 months and then we just look at the realities of getting a vaccine out there in the next 9 months, it's a big task for everyone involved. The WHO is continuing talks with China about its possible involvement in the COVAX financing scheme designed to guarantee fast and equitable access globally to COVID-19 vaccine. WHO has warned of the rates of COVID-19 infections and hospital bed occupancy rising in Europe, where authorities need to work to halt the spread ahead of the influenza season. With its undulating curves and steel engraving, Brazil's first memorial to COVID-19 victims is meant to preserve for eternity the names of those who passed away due to the pandemic. Unveiled earlier this week in Rio de Janeiro's Penitence Cemetery, the 3-ton, 39-meter steel structure has space for some 4,000 names. This is a testament to the severity of the pandemic in the South American country. South America's largest country has registered more than 4 million cases of the virus. Over 1,40,000 people have died of the disease in Brazil, which ranks second after the US in terms of number of fatalities. French Health Minister Olivier Véran faced down opposition Marseille on Friday, insisting that new measures ordering the closure of bars and restaurants were necessary, not arbitrary. Hundreds of protesters gathered in the town centre to oppose the new rules. France doctors hinted of a scenario in the coming weeks to be more critical. The French government had ordered maximum alert level for the spread of the virus in Marseille and its surrounding areas. The pandemic has killed 31,661 people and infected over 5,13,000 in France. And Japan is determined to host the Tokyo Olympics in 2021 after the Games were postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic. Japanese new Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga told the UNGA on Friday the Games were originally scheduled for this summer but were put off for a year in March by the International Olympic Committee and the Japanese government. Prime Minister Suga said that he will continue to spare no effort for safe and secure games. He said Japan will work to ensure equitable access to coronavirus treatment and vaccines for people in developing nations. As part of its steps to help developing countries hit by the pandemic, Japan is offering up to $4.5 billion in emergency loans. And some sports news now. Atletico Madrid have completed the signing of striker Luis Suarez from La Liga rivals Barcelona. The Uruguay international signed a 2-year contract with the club on Friday after passing his medical. The 33-year-old joined Barca from Liverpool in 2014, winning the Champions League title in his first season in Spain. Suarez also helped Barca to 4 league titles, scoring 198 goals in 283 appearances for the club. Lionel Messi, who himself was close to leaving Barcelona after handing in a shock transfer request, slammed the decision to sell Suarez in a touching tribute to his close friend. Swedish pole vaulter Armand Mondo Duplantis completed a perfect season when he beat world champion Sam Kendricks in Doha. The 20-year-old won all 16 of his meetings in 2020 as well as twice breaking the world record and producing the best ever outdoor jump of 6.15 meters. A vault of 5.82 meters was enough for him to win again on Friday ahead of American Kendricks and France's former Olympic champion Renaud Lavillien, who both cleared the same height but with more failures. In tennis, Stefanos Tsitsipas has made it to the semi-finals of the Hamburg Open. In the quarterfinals, Tsitsipas beat Dusan Lajovic of Serbia 7-6, 6-2. Tsitsipas is seeking his second ATP Tour clay court title. Stefanos will next face Christian Garin in the semi-final. And back home, the government has introduced several welfare schemes for the people, especially in these Covid times, and the work of sensitizing people towards these schemes is being undertaken by government departments and agencies in various ways. Efforts are being made for the differently able too. Here's a story that tells you more from Varanasi.
Varanasi Legal Services Agency is making the Divyang people aware of their rights. They are being told that government has added 14 new categories of physical and mental condition under the ambit of Disability Act 2016.
दिव्यांग जन कल्याण विभाग की तरफ से ये इन नीडी लोगों को जो बैसाखियां और व्हीलचेयर भी वितरित हमारे द्वारा किया गया है और आगे भी इस तरह के अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम माननीय सालसा के निर्देश में मैं करती रहूंगी। केवल 7 तरह की डिसेबिलिटीज़ थी, वो अब 14 और बढ़ा करके अर्थात कुल 21 तरह की डिसेबिलिटीज़ हो गई हैं, जिनसे प्रभावित लोगों को इस तरह के लाभ जो दिव्यांग जन कल्याण विभाग की तरफ से सरकार की तरफ से दी जा रही है उसका लाभ वो ले सकते हैं।
On this occasion, equipments were distributed to Divyang people to make their life easier.
कहीं ऑफिस जाना हो, घर के काम हो, नहाना धोना, कुछ भी रेगुलर बेसिस के काम है वो बगैर व्हीलचेयर के हम नहीं कर सकते हैं, तो व्हीलचेयर मिलने से हम अपना वो सारा काम आसानी से कर सकते हैं।
बहुत मैम बहुत धन्यवाद मैम, बहुत अच्छे से हम लोगों को अनुदान किए हैं और हम लोगों को जितनी बारे में बताई हैं सब आगे के लिए हम लोग भाई तैयार रहेंगे और बस हम लोगों को यही सब आवश्यकता चाहिए।
Government is implementing several programs for proper and safe access to roads, transport and buildings to Divyang people so that they could enjoy a meaningful life and contribute to the progress of the nation. Harikesh Bahadur's report, DD India, Varanasi.
And time now for the weather update from across the country. Heavy to very heavy rainfall at isolated places very likely over Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya and over Bihar, Subramanian in West Bengal and Sikkim, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura, coastal Andhra Pradesh and Yanam, Telangana and coastal Karnataka as well. Thunderstorms with lightning at isolated places likely over East Bihar, Odisha, Vidarbha, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Gangetic West Bengal, Arunachal Pradesh, coastal Andhra Pradesh and Yanam, Telangana, Rayalaseema, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Karaikal. Strong wind speeds of 45 to 55 km per hour over southwest Arabian Sea. Fishermen are requested not to venture out in coastal areas here. And now a look at temperatures recorded in major cities and towns across the country.